Over the course of 17 years as a social studies instructor in Southeast Iowa, I've had the privilege of working with a wide variety of students. And what I've discovered is that no matter how unique each of those individuals is, they all have the same desire to make an impact on the world around them. So I decided to harness this and challenge kids to do something that would improve their community, their state, or their nation. Now, I've only done this project twice, but each time we have had results that have far outshone anything that I could have possibly predicted. And the reason these projects have been so successful is because it's the students driving the work. You got to make it very clear to them when they are working on a project like this that it's got to be something that they're passionate about. Now, kids will come up with a wide variety of project ideas that will be very big, some will be very small, but the key point to remember and remind them throughout the process is, what are they truly willing to commit to doing? When you do that, you set some realistic parameters on what the students feel like they can accomplish with the project that they have been given. The first time I did this project was in 2015. I had 3 sociology students at the time, and I was working at a district that had less than 17 kids in the senior class that year, I believe. It was a public school in a town called Kyoto, Iowa, with a population of less than 1,000 people. And my 3 students decided what they wanted to do was to bring political candidates to our building and our community to help inform people of the issues that were important to them in the upcoming 2016 presidential race. We had Democrats and Republicans show up, but the one candidate that they were able to snag that got them national headlines was Hillary Clinton. Now, it was very important to me and to the students to make sure that everybody that we talked to about this knew that it was not based on political party or preference. It was just based on bringing in individuals who could explain their positions to the community. There was no political bias when it came to this. We would have gladly welcomed President Donald Trump to our school at that time, candidate Trump, and the community would have had the same response. The community had massive interest and great turnout for this campaign stop that Clinton made. Again, we made it very clear to everyone that we talked to, in the community, outside the community, it was not about endorsing or supporting one political candidate over another. It was about making sure that the people in our community were well informed on the issues that they were going to be facing when they went to the ballot box in 2016. Fast forward 10 years. I find myself with another sociology class, this time only 8 students. And I decided that I was going to try this project again. I don't know why I waited 10 years for it. I just think that maybe I was intimidated by the mass success that the kids had accomplished in their first go outing, and I didn't want kids to feel like they had to do anything that would top that. But I decided to do it again this year. And I laid out the same parameters. I challenged them to come up with a project that would improve their community, their state, or the nation. And what they did was remarkable. They looked at what was going on in the world around us here in 2025, and they saw that there was a lot of anger, there was a lot of hatred, there was a lot of frustration, not only in the nation, not only around the world, but also in the state of Iowa, in communities where they grow up. And they wanted to do something to help people come back together, to recognize that we're all in this together, that we rely on one another, and we all have a significant impact on the daily lives of all the members of our community. What they decided to do was to create a unique memorial to the legacy of Mid-Prairie Community School District. They call it the Staff Walk of Fame. The Staff Walk of Fame is a series of canvas boards with decades written on them to indicate the timeline of the Mid-Prairie Community School District from the time it was formed all the way to the present day. And they marked each of those canvases with decades, and they have encouraged those who are currently working for the district, those who have worked for the district in the past, and the families of the deceased to come and sign what they are considering to be a living memorial. Their goal is that each new teacher that is hired to the district or each new staff member that is hired to the district will have the opportunity to sign a canvas and have it hung permanently in the high school. The response to this has been tremendous. We've had teachers who have been retired for 40 years showing up to sign on these canvases. We've got families reaching out to us to know if they can come in and sign for their loved ones. And that's beautiful. The thing that really struck me by this whole project was the fact that you have the teachers and the staff members. And I want to make this very clear. It is about all staff members, because every person who has ever worked for the Mid-Prairie Community School District has contributed in some way, shape, or form to our educational legacy of excellence. The teachers obviously felt great joy at being recognized for their years of dedicated service to the district and the community. But what really took my breath away was seeing community members walk up to look at the boards to see if their favorite kindergarten teacher or their favorite teacher's aide had signed the boards already, and to talk about the wonderful memories that they had created together. That is community. And I would really like to help my students reach their goal of making this a nationwide phenomenon. So I gotta ask you for a little bit of help here. I'm not doing this because I'm looking for fame or notoriety. I'm doing this because I believe very strongly in what these kids are trying to do, to strengthen the bonds between schools and communities. Bonds that have been stretched and in some cases broken due to the political tension that we face in the world today. I want them to be able to reach a broad audience. So what I would like you to do is just consider sharing this video and the other videos related to this project that the students came up with your friends, your colleagues, your loved ones, and then maybe, just maybe, sharing it with a media outlet. Again, I want these kids to have the biggest platform available to them to be able to make their message known about strengthening the bonds between schools and communities. Every one of us remembers that teacher. Even if we had terrible experiences through school, we remember that teacher or that staff member who was always there, willing to listen, maybe to provide a shoulder to cry on, but that made you feel like you were welcomed and that you belonged. Let's help the nation remember. Let's help everyone across this great land think about those individuals that had an impact on them in their lives. Maybe your community will go ahead and adopt the Staff Walk of Fame as a model. Maybe you as a teacher will look at it as an opportunity to challenge your students to something that will improve your community, your state, or the nation. But please, let us remember that students have untapped potential, that they have passions, that they do want to see the world change for the better. And as educators, it really falls on us to provide them with opportunities to do so. Thank you for watching this video. Please hit like and subscribe, and feel free to share with your friends, loved ones, colleagues, and maybe, just maybe, with a media outlet. Thanks for watching.